Hello. It's that time again. Welcome to Insurance IQ, where we try to make you a little bit smarter about your insurance so that you can make informed decisions on coverages and have better claims experiences. This week, I had a great question come in. What do we do in the day and age of the gig economy, and how does it impact our insurance policies? Most people know about the gig economy: Uber, Lyft, Shipt shopping, DoorDash. But not a lot of people worry about what this means for their insurance policies, and a lot of people just exist in this unknown space where they may not have coverage, they may not have as much coverage as they think, and they may be extremely exposed in the things that they're doing, and they don't know about it. So I wanted to go over some of the basics. I want to speak authoritatively about Uber and Lyft because I've read those contracts. I can also speak authoritatively about Shipt shopping via that Target partnership because I've actually contacted their corporate office as well to learn the fine language of their agreements. I cannot speak definitively about DoorDash and some of those other like GrubHubs. Those I would have to dig into deeper to know exactly how the contracts read, but I can give you a word of caution about how to approach most of them. So Uber and Lyft, I wanted to start with ride sharing. Ride sharing, having passengers in your car is a big no-no for your personal auto policy, no matter where you go. You can't carry people around because it's a new liability exposure. It opens the insurance companies up to a whole different kind of loss and a whole different kind of liability for having passengers in there where you're transporting them for a fee or for a business exposure. So the market developed, most carriers in the market developed what's called a ride share endorsement, which is an add-on to your coverage that provides coverage for that gap in your insurance coverage from when you turn on the app to find a rider and you're driving around to when you actually pick up the rider and they're in your car. So when you pick up the rider and they're in your car, Uber and Lyft's corporate insurance kicks in and covers you when you have the rider in your car. That's kind of the no-brainer part. The part where you're exposed is you're driving around and you turn on your app to pick up a driver and to be available for an assignment. As soon as you turn on that app, your personal auto policy becomes a business auto policy. And what you're using that business auto policy for is to find a person to pick up and drive around in. So the insurance companies will use that window there as an exclusion. It's a business use exclusion. So what a lot of people don't realize is that you need an add-on to your personal insurance policy to be fully covered with no gaps when you're driving Uber and driving Lyft. Most carriers in the market have come up with an add-on called the rideshare endorsement, which bridges this gap for you. Again, from when you turn on the app and you don't have a rider yet to when you get your rider, you aren't covered. And it's a big bummer. If you are going to pick up a rider, a passenger for Uber or Lyft, and you get in an accident on the way there, if you tell the adjuster what truly happened and why you were driving at the time, it'll be a business use exclusion. And it opens you up to a whole lot of uncovered things that can go along with that, which is obviously far from ideal. So Uber and Lyft, you for sure need an extra endorsement with the carriers. So ask your agent, ask your carrier. There's always options out there to bridge that gap. I'll go to Shipt shopping next. Shipt is when you log onto an app and you find a client who wants you to go to a Target or a Byerly's or one of the grocery stores and pick up a shopping list for them and then deliver those goods to their house. Shipt shopping is just a great way to work part-time to kind of plug into that gig economy and make some extra money. So I have friends and family who drive for Shipt, so I dug into it a little bit, being the insurance agent in the family. And what I've found is that corporate Shipt insurance covers you throughout the whole process. And this is why. You are at your house in your car when you pick up a job for Shipt. So as soon as you pick up the job for Shipt and you're driving to the place, whether it's Target to pick up the groceries, and then you're taking the groceries from Target to the person who asked you to shop for them, you are covered through that entire process by the corporate coverage of Shipt. That leaves no exposures in your auto policy, which is ideal, of course. So you don't need any special coverage for Shipt because Shipt covers you throughout. Again, back to what I was saying in the beginning, DoorDash, I'm not sure how those contracts are written. I would think that if you are accepting a DoorDash order and you're stationary, it's possible that it picks you up right away like Shipt does. It's also possible that there's that gap between when you're looking for a gig or looking for a DoorDash order and you're driving to the restaurant to pick up that order, that there may be some exposure there. So I would want to talk to corporate or see their contracts to know how that insurance coverage applies. But overall, if there's one takeaway, know that if you're using your car creatively and you're plugging into the gig economy, it very well may require an update or a modification to your existing insurance policy. It can put you in the position where you're driving around without coverage and you don't even know it. And obviously that exposes us in a lot of different ways. So keep that in mind when you are doing the gig economy. Keep that in mind when you have friends or family doing the gig economy, like Uber, Lyft, Shipt shopping, things like that, because it could leave you exposed when you don't want to be exposed. So it's a great question to ask. It's a great time to ask. What is your insurance IQ regarding the gig economy? Hello everyone, it's that time again. I would appreciate it so much if you took the time to log into your YouTube and hit subscribe, the red subscribe button on the bottom right of the video. Like the video as well. It helps me share the word, spread the word, pass it along to your friends and family. It's much easier to share a silly insurance video than it is to ask them to go ask for a quote. Just spread the word and help me out. Everything you do is appreciated, and thank you for listening.